Walk through a marina in Monaco or a high-end district in Dubai, and you'll quickly notice a problem facing the ultra-wealthy. When everyone around you has a massive net worth, a standard luxury SUV completely loses its power as a status symbol. Take a vehicle like the Lamborghini Urus. It is an incredible piece of factory engineering, but Lamborghini produces thousands of them a year. In these elite circles, rolling up in a stock Urus means you run the very real risk of parking next to three identical models. The same applies to the Mercedes G-Class. It's an aggressive, highly capable off-roader straight from the factory, but at high-end charity galas and super yacht harbors, it essentially functions as standard traffic. This is the solution Mansory provides. They take these mass-produced apex vehicles and push them to extreme limits. By installing forged carbon wide-body kits and tuning engines to reach nearly 1,000 Newton-meters of torque, they physically and mechanically distance the car from its assembly line origins. Buyers are making a calculated choice. They are actively rejecting factory perfection to guarantee they never, ever have to see a duplicate of their car. This pursuit of absolute singularity comes with what we call the Mansory multiplier. To access this level of customization, buyers routinely pay a 100 to 200% premium over the original sticker price. This chart maps that exact transaction. On the x-axis, we have the price, and on the y-axis, global rarity. Look at the starting point. Base models sit between $150,000 and $400,000, with thousands of units in circulation. But apply the Mansory treatment, and the data points sharply shift up and to the right. Prices jump to between $300,000 and $800,000, while total global production shrinks to just 7 to 12 units per build. Look at the cluster in the top right corner. This represents the core dilemma for buyers at this level. Do you take a masterpiece of original factory engineering and permanently alter it, purely to secure that strict 1 of 10 rarity? Choosing to do so is the ultimate trade. You are willingly sacrificing stealth wealth for undeniable, loud, and polarizing volume. To evaluate these 10 Mansory builds, we can segment them into 3 buyer archetypes: the heritage disruptors, the track titans, and the apex exotics. We'll measure them across 3 metrics: the unit cap, the price tag, and the horsepower gained. We start with the vehicles that actively rebel against history. For over a century, British automakers like Rolls-Royce and Bentley have built their reputations on whisper-quiet, understated elegance. Mansory takes that tradition and shatters it. On platforms like the Cullinan, the Bentayga, and the Range Rover SV, they bolt on aggressive forged carbon aerodynamics and massive 24-inch wheels. The results speak for themselves. The Mansory Cullinan, for example, is capped at a severely limited production run, features a V12 tuned to 720 horsepower, and carries a price tag pushing $650,000. The disruption continues inside. The classic conservative wood veneers are stripped out and replaced with diamond-stitched neon, bespoke vibrant leathers, and highly exposed carbon fiber trim. The trade-off is a total loss of the discretion these brands are known for. You are trading centuries of quiet heritage for a vehicle that forces everyone nearby to acknowledge its presence.
Next, we look at the daily drivable tier, built explicitly for raw speed, the track titans. This group includes the Porsche Cayenne Turbo GT, the Audi RS Q8, and the BMW XM. Here, the focus shifts to severe mechanical engineering. Mansory heavily tunes these twin-turbo V8s, pushing output up to between 740 and 780 horsepower, while integrating functional carbon rear diffusers to handle the added downforce. This graph details the upgrades. The Mansory Cayenne, RS Q8, and XM post 0 to 100 sprint times of 3.3 seconds, supercar-killing acceleration. But this speed commands a premium. You'll spend upwards of $420,000 to secure one. That is the core compromise in this tier. You are paying exotic, hypercar prices to maximize architectures built for the mass market, rather than platforms bred from the ground up for exclusivity. That brings us to our final, highly controversial tier, the apex exotics. This involves modifying the most restricted, waitlisted platforms on Earth, like the Lamborghini Urus Venatus and the Ferrari Purosangue. Statistical rarity hits its absolute peak here. Mansory limits the production of these specific builds to microscopic runs of just 7 to 8 units globally. The summit of this category is the Mansory Purosangue. Draped in vermilion red with forged carbon accents, it features a naturally aspirated V12 producing 755 horsepower and demands an $800,000 entry price. Sitting adjacent to that Ferrari in terms of sheer access and statement value is the $600,000 Mansory G63. Wrapped in stealth matte black with a purple lavender interior, it is an unapologetic, massive flex of power. But modifying at this level introduces severe risk. Brands like Ferrari possess incredibly protective cultures and notoriously penalize owners who alter their factory designs with aftermarket kits. The definitive trade-off here is financial liquidity. By modifying an apex exotic, you instantly alienate traditional purist collectors, shrinking your resale market exclusively to buyers who share your highly specific, aggressive aesthetic taste. So how do you decide which path makes sense for your portfolio? It comes down to identifying your primary motive for dropping $500,000 on an SUV. If your priority is asset retention and protecting resale value, the data points clearly in one direction: stick to factory stock. Heavily modified, wildly bespoke vehicles are deeply personalized assets. Because they cater to such niche tastes, they are difficult to liquidate quickly on the secondary market. However, if your primary goal is maximum rarity and asserting an undeniable road presence, your path leads directly to a Mansory custom build. Committing $300,000 to $800,000 on a 1-of-8 build is the most effective way to guarantee absolute statistical singularity when surrounded by peers who can afford anything. Taking this route requires a high tolerance for polarizing opinions. You are purposefully buying a machine designed to provoke a reaction. There is a strict rule here. If you require validation and approval from automotive purists, you must keep the factory equipment intact. A Mansory build is the ultimate hedge against commonality, a tool for owners who value standing alone more than the prestige of factory perfection.